Yo, what's going on?
What's going on,
How's
everybody?
everybody? It's your boy Troy.
It's your boy Sean.
Hey, we tapped in once again.
Hey, and if you tuned in, you know what to do. Go like, comment, share, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, wherever you find us at. We appreciate all the love y'all been showing, but we're trying to make this thing go.
No
So
doubt, no doubt. So we
so
need
tap
y'all
in,
tapping in. Talk to us.
talk to
Talk
us.
to us.
Hey, and if you don't, man, if you see us in the streets, might gotta
That's it.
fight.
So throw your hands
Throw
up,
your
man.
hands up, man.
Oh man, listen.
Speaking of throwing your hands up, man, we had some sidebar conversations, man, this last
Yeah,
week
yeah.
about the fight. So I mean, I didn't watch it live. I mean, I got a little bit tired, so I had to find out what happened in the morning. But I mean, you was watching, man. So give me your play-by-play, man. What happened?
Now I'm gonna give you my honest assessment. Any fight fan, any Tank fan, any Roach fan, listen. This is just my perspective. First of all, hats off to Roach.
Mhm,
He's a heck of a fighter, man. He did everything he was supposed to do.
mhm.
Um, Javante Davis fought his normal fight plan. But I think Roach was a little tougher than what he expected him to be.
Mhm.
So I don't think he was able to execute in the same way. Um, with that being said, that fight to me, it looked more like a money scheme, man. It looks more like if
Like
a
a money
Joker came
grab?
in here right now and asked me and you to box.
Okay.
Because respect for each other. We've been friends for a long time, so it's like you saw that in the ring.
Mhm.
I mean, from round 6 to 7, they talking to each other. I feel like Tank kind of, I'm not gonna say held back, but he wasn't as aggressive as he normally would have been. But I mean, the weekend prior, he was over the man's house with his mom dudes.
Right. And
So
see, and that was the thing that I didn't know anything about the backstory, but when I seen the clip of them at the weigh-in,
uh huh.
and he was like, "What? You can't talk? You know what I mean? You can't talk now." He's like, "Nah." And that's like if it was me and you, and we was a great fight, and you brought your mom to the thing, and they expect for me to talk greasy to you. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like, man, I can't. Man, your mom here, man. Like,
but that shows the respect that
right,
they have for each other. So it's like, do I really want to knock your head off and
right.
end your career, or do I want to make
Get
this
this
a
money.
boxing match, get this money, and both of our careers can elevate?
Right.
If we see a fight two, Tank's gonna knock him out.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, Tank's gonna knock him out. I mean, the guy can box.
All right, so we got it on the record. So if you
Yeah,
knock him out, what round? Eighth,
eighth round.
eighth,
He could have done it this fight.
eighth or sooner.
Eighth or sooner.
Okay.
Yeah, eighth or sooner. Because Tank has a bad habit because he's so confident in his knockout power and ability and
Mhm.
his IQ that he'll compute for 5 rounds and then try to come out and execute in the next 3 or 4 rounds.
Mhm.
But I think it backfired on him this time because he's, kind of played with him a little too long.
Okay. All right. I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. So I mean, you think maybe some good mentorship in between this fight and the next fight, man? How important do you think mentorship is and with somebody who's navigating through a career, not just fighting, but just in life? Like if you're trying to get into a business, you're trying to get into real estate, or you're trying to start a particular type of business, and you know somebody who already has started that business. So, like a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the movie.
Oh, when the young man
Yeah,
came to the guy's office.
yeah.
Wow, that was a great movie too, man. What's the name of that
I
movie? That
can't
was
remember. I can't,
yo, that was
you
a
told me about the movie, man.
oh man, that was a good movie too, man. Because he
It
actually
was
served.
about mentorship. You know what I mean? And how his mentorship changed the trajectory of this young man's life.
A good mentor could do that. Listen, so coming from where I come from. If you want to say back in the day, I'm a '70s baby, so you could say the ghetto.
Hmm.
And at our dinner table in our neighborhoods, we didn't have people outside of factory workers or outside of 9 to 5 workers. So as I began to, start to want to do something different in life, I used to pray for a mentor, somebody good, because I need somebody who's been here and
Mhm.
somebody who's perfected this to be able to kind of guide me. Now, I think it's important too with mentorship is that you understand, okay, I can give you these jewels, but while I'm giving to them, it's important that I cater them to you for you to still be yourself.
Mhm.
But I think I think any career, any elevation, it requires, man, a good mentorship.
So I agree, and I think where we don't get it, where we don't understand it from, is it accelerates the learning curve and it eliminates you from making um, early mistakes, right? So you got somebody who's been through it
Uh huh.
and like, hey, look, these are the things that you need to do,
Hmm.
right, in order to be successful in this. But stay away from doing these things here because they're not going to benefit you. They do nothing but steal your time, um, distract you, take you off
Uh
course,
huh.
and the things that it might have taken you. So, like for me, when agents come in, the first thing I tell them is I want to accelerate the first 5 years of my career in real estate and
Uh-huh.
theirs within a
Man,
year.
I want to stop you right there because before you even go there, I wanted to give you your flowers, man. You and my guy Kevin Jefferson, man, because before I even got my real estate
Yeah,
license, man. You remember the day? I mean, I
right.
pulled up on you. I think the pharmacy was still there at the time,
Uh-huh.
and I was working Rentway,
Right. Yep.
and I was pulling in the truck, and I was like, "Yo, this is a young black man doing real estate that I respected at the time. You had your store, and you was doing some things that I aspired to do, and you're younger than me,
Mhm.
and I pulled up on you, and I'm sure you had a lot of people. Oh man, how do I get in real estate at the time? And you told me, you said, look, go get your license and come back and talk to me. You ain't waste a whole lot of time talking to me because I'm sure you had this conversation a lot.
Right.
But from that day, when I went and I got, I passed the class, got my license, and man, from the time you got me the interview to the time I got in the office, I mean, at the time, the technology was a little bit different. So you didn't have that step by step mentorship.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, I thank God for Frank every day for giving me the opportunity. But if it wasn't for you guys, man, I'm
Mhm.
talking about walking me through day to day, like going to lunch with me and having the conversations. And I'm
Yep.
looking at these contracts and I'm not going like, man, I ain't seen this
Right.
before.
Right.
Is this part important? Do you sign this here? And man, listen, the level of patience, man, that you guys, have showed me, man, I'll never forget it.
I
I,
appreciate that,
yeah, no, no, for real. That's real. That's real, man. I mean, and so when you're looking at mentors, most times you think of somebody that's
man.
older or someone, but no, you've been there. You
Right.
was doing it, and you helped me transition because it was all new to me, man. And I probably would have quit the first week
Right.
have I not went in the office and seen people that looked like me and that was willing to take time out, what I mean, to have that. So, man, I appreciate it.
And I appreciate that, man. And when you on the side of being a when you're being on the side of being a mentor, it's crazy. It might sound crazy, but everybody's not ready to be mentored. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because you can spend a lot of time trying to mentor somebody who's not willing to put in the time
Mm.
or the dedication in order for them to get the results that they really want.
But what do you have to see in somebody to say, okay, they're worth my time to be able to,
Their
mentor?
time,
Hmm. Huh?
their time.
Their time. So if they're willing to give up their time.
Yeah. If you want to learn or if you want to do something, it's like, okay, I'm willing to teach you uh, and help you grow.
Hmm.
But if every time I'm meeting with you, you trying to rush out and go do something else,
Mm.
you're not really ready.
Right. Okay.
You're not really ready because if we really having a conversation, or if it's a mentorship, it's not just me giving you information. It's us having a conversation, and I'm also trying to see where you're trying to go, right?
Hmm.
Because I don't know what I'm trying to mentor you for. You know what I mean?
Mm. Right.
I
See.
could be saying, okay, well, I think you should do this. Well, that might not fit who and what you are.
Exactly.
right?
Right.
And
That's
so
what
I need to be able to see what's your goals, what's your thoughts, like what do you want, like what kind of trajectory do you want to have? Do you want to be a team? Do you want to be, a niche agent? Do you want to be, you just want to be known for listing properties, or how long do you want to do this? Is this something where you transition and where you're trying to learn because you want to get into flipping or buying rental properties or helping investors find properties? Like, what's your what's your goals? What's your angles? Um, because then I can help you.
Right.
I can more effectively help you. But the other thing is like when somebody's willing to give their time, um, it's the highest to me. In a sense, it's more than you even paying me,
Oh yeah.
right? Because like if you're really in tune, like some people will pay for uh, a mentorship, right? But the people are the hungriest. They will just hang around.
Yeah, just to soak up
Just to
the
so
knowledge and be in the atmosphere.
they hungry. So when I say time, that's what I mean. Is this person trying to get as much time from me as possible to the I'm not to the point where now we got to carve out a time,
Right. Okay.
right?
Okay. Uh-huh.
So you pursuing me so much.
Yeah, I gotta say, oh,
Yeah, that guy said, okay, hold on. Like I want to help you, but
but
I
you see
also,
that thirsty.
right.
Right.
Right. And
Right.
so, I mean, it's like the old saying, I mean, when the classroom, what is it? The teacher appears when the classroom is ready.
Yeah, that's it. And the good thing about mentorship, though, because I've been on both sides of the coin. I've had some great mentors, but I've mentored a lot of people.
Mhm.
And some of the people that I mentor now are beneficial to me and my life
Right.
because helping them get to where they need to be and help cultivating their gifts or the things that they have. Now I got one guy, man. We started out together, in the clothing business, selling clothes and everything, and he's done very well for himself. But then I can call him and say, "Hey, man, I need something, man. Use one of your accounts." But because I took my time and mentored him, it's nothing for him to say, "Okay, so I got you,"
Right.
and it pays off. You
Right.
know what I mean? And then just the feeling of knowing that you help somebody reach a goal. You know what I
Right.
mean? So mentorship is important, man.
Yeah, and it's a relationship. And if you're watching this, mentorship doesn't mean Troy touched on it earlier. Mentorship, being mentored does not always mean it's somebody who's older than you. It's just somebody who has an experience in a field or in an area that you're not as experienced in. They're going to help you accelerate your growth. They're going to help you avoid some of the pitfalls, and they're going to help you strategize and plan for where you want to go. Right, really,
Facts,
that's what they're going to
facts,
try to
facts,
do.
facts.
I mean, they're going to pour into you. And speaking of people that that are mentors, parents,
They're the
right?
first mentor.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
the first.
They're the first mentors.
Hmm.
And when you have parents that may be successful or doing a lot of things in the community, sometimes that means you have to share your parents.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and what kind of effect does that have on the family, on the kids, and what's important?
It depends on the level of sharing your parents. Um, I come from a small neighborhood. We come from a small town where when we was growing up, not everybody was blessed with the basic necessities. I'm talking about cars.
Uh-huh.
I'm talking, you know what I mean? I'm talking about just simple things like cars. So we was blessed enough to have a vehicle. So school shopping time, I had to share my mom. She had to pick up the kids, you know what I mean, go to the neighborhood. Some couple of my homeboys now, we still talk about it where my house was the hub. You
Right.
come to my house, we're gonna go school shopping. We're gonna go here, we're gonna go there. But me sharing my parents is a man, it's a great part of my childhood
Mhm.
because we didn't have much, but everything we had, we shared it, and the relationships built. I still have them till this day.
Mhm.
Now on the flip side, I see a lot of kids, well, their parents are maybe pastors
Mhm.
or things like that, what that require them to spend a lot of their time outside of their house
Mhm.
and other people's homes or bringing other people into their homes, and it had a lasting effect on the kids where they feel neglected.
Right.
You know.
It's weird, man, because it makes me think. With the things that I'm involved in outside of work,
Hmm.
being on different boards, school boards, helping found the school, late night meetings, early morning meetings, weekend meetings. Um, but for me, because my kids would probably be the better people to, to
Yeah,
answer,
yeah,
but
because you don't know it
yeah,
till you think you're doing the right
right.
thing.
Yeah. So I think I'm doing the right thing because the order that I put things in my
Hmm.
life. Like
Okay.
those things are to me, those things are important. That's my way of giving back and making my community better than what I found it. I think
Mhm.
that's what we all should be doing
No
once you
doubt.
get to us, at any level. Everybody has something to give, something to share with others.
No doubt.
Going back to that mentorship, it could be you coaching youth basketball or football if that's your
Hmm.
passion, or baseball. It gives you an opportunity to share something that you love with the next generation, but also to be able to teach them lifelong lessons.
Right. No
And
doubt.
so in that, I think everybody has that responsibility to give back, but I think you also have to be. It also has to be in a line. So it's got to be you, what you believe in, your faith, your marriage, your relationship, then the relationship that you have with your kids,
Hmm.
and then all the other things have to come after that, right?
Right.
Because I mean, really, that the strength of your life is that core. Your faith, your marriage, your
Your family.
children,
That's
yeah,
it.
your
Yeah,
family.
you're cool. Yeah,
That
that's the core.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's really that is what we're I'm not gonna say judged by, but that makes the biggest portion of our life on a daily basis. And if those things are out of order, it doesn't really matter what you do on the outside. You're still you're gonna struggle. You're gonna struggle,
Hmm.
or your family's gonna struggle.
No
One,
doubt.
what I mean, one of the two is gonna be struggling. But on the contrary, I think when that unit is solid, it allows for the family to be more effective in the community,
Hmm.
because then the kids see the things that you're involved in and how passionate you are and how you want to help other people, and now they want to be involved and a part of it.
See,
Um,
that's the important, man. Raising your kids to a point where they understand it's not about us. I mean, my kids, by the time they was all teenagers, I'm talking about 14 on,
mhm.
Christmas time come around, man, we don't need nothing. Let's sponsor a family. And that's this real talk. I'm not
Right,
just saying that
right,
because we instilled in our kids, you get stuff all year long.
right.
And so they had the heart to see other people, so they didn't mind sharing us in that way. I think I shared with you the other week, we had a young man, one of my kids' high school friends of ninth grade year. He was in a situation, man, that wasn't, suitable for him to, it was just a bad situation, man. And we took the kid in. We took the kid in, man. He moved in with us, man. And at that time, I had a daughter that was, my boys, they was maybe teenagers, but my daughter, she was, in elementary. So that was kind of risky all by itself.
Right, right,
But because, man, I found out my son, he was going to school and he was actually sharing his lunch, giving his lunch to the young man and all this. He had compassion,
right.
and that moved me. And I was like, man, I want to learn more about the young man. And till this day, man, like I said, the young man, he's graduated, he's successful now, and he comes back, and man, he'll never forget us, what we did for him. And it was only for a year and a half. I mean, we brought him in, but I think because we raised our kids to understand that it's not just about us.
Hmm.
It's about what we can do for our community, for other people. They was okay with sharing us. Now you take that on the flip side, though. If you have a wife or a husband, man, a woman who don't put the time in with their kids. Let's say you never go to none of your kids' games.
Right.
You're not going to any, you're not
Because of these
hanging out with them.
obligations.
You're
Yeah.
not because of these obligations. Now you want to ride around with another young man and
Right.
take him to his games. I can see how that can cause some
Right.
conflict.
Right.
So it has to be a balance there.
for sure.
Yeah, you have to exert your energies at home first,
For sure. You know what I mean? And I think that's the key is balance. You know what I
man. Yeah,
mean?
the balance.
Balance with what your passion is and what you ask for. You know, because most cases, not in most cases, your family is something that you ask for. You ask
Yeah,
your wife to be your wife. Y'all wanted to have kids. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So that is the priority.
yeah,
That should be taken care of first, and then you can take care of everybody else.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, speaking of something, I'm not gonna say controversial, but you know, something that I think is important for us to be teaching in our families, because we both have firearms in the house, is like just the respect and the proper relationship with a firearm. You know what I mean? How do you feel about that?
Man, I think it's very important, man, to educate your kids on firearms.
Hmm.
And I think you use your own discretion as to what age. I think the sooner the better,
Hmm.
because it takes away that curiosity. You know, if you bring your kids in the room, I know I did my kids early on. I'm talking about 10 years old. My boys knew
Hmm.
this is a firearm, this is a gun,
Hmm.
this is how a gun shoot, this is what it's for. So if they walking through the house and they see one, and let's say I don't lock it away, or you go in my armrest, you say it in my car, you're not gonna pick it up and what I mean, have
Curiosity,
curiosities
right?
because dad already taught me this. He already showed me this. He showed me that it's supposed to be locked up. He told me that it's not a toy. He told me that, this is it could be potentially life threatening. So, I mean, I think we have to educate our kids. When I was growing up, they demonized guns.
Right.
You know what I mean? Pop Pop had one, they had one that hit it.
Right.
That old rusty gun sitting up somewhere. So when
Shotgun
you
and
get it, you curious. Like,
right.
what is this, man? I'm like, oh, I seen this on TV. How do it shoot?
Right.
But
And
that's
as a little kid, I mean, that's the first thing like.
yeah, you want to know.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the first kind of toy you really want. You know what I mean? It's
You
one of
want
the toy cat guns.
yeah,
Pop, pop, pop.
you
You
want
know?
a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, even going back to that, like, remember me hearing my mom say, "I'm not buying no guns."
Right.
Yeah, I
Yeah, they
mean,
demonize it, man.
yeah, I'm not
But
buying no guns.
you had knives in the cabinet,
Right,
I mean, in the kitchen.
right.
I mean, that's a deadly weapon.
But do you think it's because it was more how the gun was used in our communities?
I think the gun was used in our communities that way for the lack of education, though. Even with that, because if you take, okay, some of our counterparts, and I don't want to get too deep, but I'm just, thinking, if you have an 8-year-old son and you take him and you say, you know what, we're gonna go hunt Bambi today, and we
Right,
go in the woods and we put on our fatigues or whatever, and we understand, boom, once I hit Bambi,
like,
it's over.
right,
His life is gone. It's done. He's not getting up no more.
right,
Seeing that at 8 years old, you understand the seriousness of
right.
this gun. Me in the hood, grabbing, I mean, I gun. I've never shot anybody before.
The emotion.
You think common sense would tell you that this is, playing for keeps, but in your mind, a lot of them, they're not educated and thinking, okay, man, I'm gonna shoot them, man, maybe stop them for now. But you don't
Right,
understand, you're taking a life.
right. And the other thing is like when like going hunting is it's also about respect of the animal as well. You know what I mean? You're not just trying to shoot the animal anywhere. Like you're not trying to make it suffer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just like okay, we know we killing this. We're gonna skin it. We're gonna cut it open. We're gonna eat the meat, right?
Right.
You know, what I mean, it's going in the freezer. It's gonna help take care of our
Mm-hmm.
family.
Right.
And so it's a respect that comes with that, where it's just like okay, well, you got to learn how to shoot this thing. We got to
Right.
practice and practice at the shooting range, and or if you're doing bow and arrow, we practice in the backyard on the hay bales,
Right.
or
Absolutely. Yeah.
what you're shooting. So now we putting in time and practice for that specific thing to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a level of respect that comes with it, not just picking up a gun and just firing up, bang, 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 bang. I mean, just trying to hit it. It's like there's no respect
That's
into
why
that.
you have all these, and 9 times 10, that's why you have all these shootings where a bullet, they say a bullet don't have a name on you. Shoot, you don't know how to shoot. You're not hitting the target. You're hitting everybody
Right.
around. I mean, if I had learned how to shoot as a young man, I mean, the first time I shot a gun, it's true story. was a sawed-off shotgun. Had a rope around the barrel. Now me, I had no idea. I'm thinking it's a pistol because I don't know the difference between a sawed-off shotgun. Man, I grabbed the joke. We in the woods, me and the fellas. They know who they are. I know they out there listening. I go in the woods. I grabbed the sword off now, just like this, with one hand, and bang it. Boom! Man, the thing flew back. My arm flew back. Cause I'm blessed to have an arm. I'm blessed to have an arm today, man. That's just through the ignorance of it. I wanted to hear that bang, boom. I'm watching too much TV. I'm sidearm, sawed-off shotgun. And that thing kicked back, boy, my hand swung
Almost
around.
killed yourself.
Man, I almost killed myself.
Yeah,
But it's just the lack of knowledge, man.
And that's the other thing, man, is just I talked to a guy who trains on firearms. And he was saying, man, that is the most important thing is how to handle a firearm.
That's it. Yeah.
Right. The safeties and stuff like that. And actually gave me a pretty good tip because I was asking him about, what kind of gun should I get my wife? Should I get her something smaller, whatever? He's like, man, get her whatever you got.
Right.
Same gun that you got, she got.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, why? Like, why do that? Well, don't she need a smaller gun? He was like, no. He said, it goes back to safety. She know where the safety is. She know how to open and close. Open and close it. She know how to load it. She, everything is exact same. So what if, she can't get to her gun, but can get to your gun?
She already that's smart though.
She know how to
operate it because that's a big thing. Some of them long trigger pull, some of them safety, side safety, right safety.
Yeah, so y'all got the same gun.
That's smart. That's smart.
I was like, man, I would have never thought about it. He said most people don't. He said, but that's safety. Like that's part of gun safety is being. He said because then, like what you said, she's picking up your gun. She don't know where the safety is. It could be dark. You know what I mean? Like, and now she, that's a matter.
That's valuable time.
That's really valuable time, man. So I said, tip for all you families out there who considering, getting firearm. If you're getting a firearm, get training on the firearm as soon as you get it.
Train and fire it. Fire the gun. I'm gonna share a story. I'm gonna share a story, man. We can move on, but this just happened a few weeks ago. So you know how my yard set up. I call it my compound. So I firearms pretty much, around. We had 3 strange pit bulls come up probably like 2 weeks ago, and they was hanging around in the yard. And I have a Rottweiler and a Shih Tzu, so when I let them out, and that was weird to see them up here, but I see them for the second day, and I didn't want to hurt them. I tried to shoot them away or whatever. I said, well, maybe I'll go outside and let one off in the air, and they're kind of run away. So I had this one pistol, man, and kind of move it around, dropped it plenty of times, but I don't actually fire the gun. And I jumps outside, and I see the dogs. They close. They right around my porch or whatever. So I go outside and I go in there, pull it, man, nothing. Pull it again. So I check the clip. I was like, yo, man, the farm pen messed up in it. Now I'm walking around with a glorified rock, and then even so now my next move is all I guess I got to throw it at you. I'm like, man, suppose this was life or death. Suppose that pit bull was locked on to my wife,
right?
And I hadn't fired that gun in so long. I'm like, man, we gotta do better. Yeah, we gotta do better. Yeah. So yeah, it's important, man. Go to the range. Make sure you find your pistol.
So you just got specific ones that you take to the range when you go. You don't take all of them.
Yeah, some of the small stuff I don't take. When I go out there, I be trying to shoot by, ARs and all that, try to have fun. But some, you have people.
But that's the one that you got to go to first. Yeah, the other stuff you got to, go to get it. This one is the one
that they go to one and to come find out. Man, yeah, that was a bad situation, but I'm glad that happened. So
that way,
make sure. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's I'm glad you found out like that.
Yeah, because it could have been bad.
Yeah,
It could have been bad.
it could have been bad. Well, I mean, it's a crazy transition, you know, going from firearms. But you had mentioned something about tipping. So what's on your mind about tipping?
Hey, you know what? I was on Facebook, man, this week, and man, I got this interesting post because I guess the lady had ran out behind somebody because I think they had a party of 12 or 13 people,
Mm-hmm.
and they got up and I guess the tip wasn't suitable. She ran outside like, hey, yo, you didn't. And you know, the lady, to her defense, she like, listen, they had gratuity in this check,
Okay,
and you want
extra
this tip.
gratuity.
She told, and so she went on this whole spiel about how we make X amount of dollars, you know. And I get it. I definitely get it. You know, but and I want to say this without sounding insensitive. I want to be careful with how I say it. But we do choose where we work and the type of field we go in.
Absolutely.
And pretty much before I sign my name on the dotted line, you tell me what I'm going to get paid, and I have to make a decision. Do I want to rely on people coming in
Yeah.
to, you know,
To make up the difference.
to make up the difference?
Right.
And so when I work from home now, so I eat a lot at home. But when I was going to work every day, I was working in Salisbury. I frequented restaurants every day. Every day I went out to lunch.
Mm-hmm.
So as a business owner, I'm thinking, do you want my $20 lunch? Do you want me to get this every day, or do you just want me to come one day, pay you $20 and tip you the other 20, so, but you won't see me no more every day? You see what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Because if I'm coming in, I'm ordering out, I'm going to give you a tip, but it's not going to look like what it's going to look like if I sat there
Yeah, and eight.
and
It's
ate.
so so yeah, we differ there because if I order out, if I call in an order and I'm coming in to pick it up, I'm not tipping.
You don't get the I tip. I give a minimum. I might give you $3. Might give you $2 because you bagged it up, you had it ready for me, and I guess that's just. And I understand the nature of the business. But if I'm sitting in your establishment and I have to wait, I have to flag you down. If I have to get another waiter to go get
Oh, that's
you,
the
and
concept.
you're
Yeah.
not checking in on me, when it's time for that bill to come, two things. If the gratuity is already added into it, you might not get nothing else.
Because typically when they do the gratuity, man, it's 15, 18%,
Uh huh.
which is probably what I was gonna, I mean, I'm gonna tip in that range or higher, depending on my service,
Uh huh.
right? I'm gonna be fair. Yeah, because I want to be treated the way
Right.
I'm gonna treat people the way I want to be treated,
Uh huh.
right? So I understand it's a service business. I understand you work off tips or whatever. Now, see, I'm gonna apologize to my service industry people because if I order takeout, I don't tip because the tip is for the customer service side of it. This to me, I look at it as the same way if I roll up to Chick-fil-A and
Uh-huh.
I order the number 7,
You expect for that 7 to be in the bag, right?
the 7 to be in the bag,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
Same process gotta happen, right? You know what I mean? They cook it, bag it up, here you go. They don't expect a tip.
Mhm.
If I call in an order, they cook it, they bag it up. I come like there is no you prepared the food, you charge me for the food, I'm paying you for the food. You didn't have to provide like an exorbitant amount of layers of service for me to
Mhm.
be able to just come in and pick up this bag, right?
Right.
So my like literally that process to me looks no different than any fast food chain at that point in time, right?
Okay. Okay.
So, but you know, if I'm in there, so there's been instances where I've had bad service and I'm tip. I'm still going to tip, right?
Mhm.
I'm still going to tip the same. When I have good service, I'm gonna tip you because you exceeded my expectations,
Okay.
right? So I'm gonna
Mhm.
tip you accordingly to that. Then there's sometimes where I have gotten somebody and I can tell by the way they've judged me and my family that they expect for me not to give them a tip.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not gonna say every time, but I would say probably 80% of the time I probably tip those people more. And it's crazy because it's it, it was more about the judging of what me and my family looked like
Uh-huh.
and what you thought we were
Mm-hmm.
and that we're not, right? And so I could tell throughout them waiting on us that their demeanor was kind of changing,
Right, right.
but it was just that initial judgment.
Mm-hmm.
I could see it, I could feel it. I didn't like it, and I know you didn't expect for me to tip you well.
Right.
But I'm gonna tip you better than what you think the person that don't look like me was gonna tip you,
Mm-hmm.
just to prove the point. You can't judge people by the way that they look.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it was all about principle at that point in time. Some people may look at this and be like, man, you tripping, man. You tip somebody who you knew didn't think you was gonna tip them extra money. Yeah, for the simple fact that when you come in there, I want them to treat you with the level of respect that you should
Right.
be
So you
treated with.
paving the way for the next person.
Right.
Well, in our business
Right.
too, you know, I was taught one of the first things you guys told me, you treat everybody like you have they got $1 million anyway.
Right.
You don't know. You can't watch anybody's
Right.
pockets, man. It's the level of service. This is your job. If I was a server, I feel like you're gonna get excellent treatment because it's my character. That's just what I want to do. Now, I'm sure it could be a little frustrating for them after a hard day's work. You know, you go home, your dog's hurt,
Right. Right.
and you done ran, and I know I got people in my family that I'm talking about the coffee can't be lukewarm. You can't bring out 2 sugars. You got to bring out 8. I mean, it's like some people when they eat out, they might as well eat home because when you're eating out, you have to realize, okay, they're cooking for the masses. They're not
Right.
cooking specifically for you.
Yeah. And then and I get this. I don't mean to cut you off, but some people do take that too far, man. They can
Yeah.
take
Way
it
too far.
take it.
And my thing is, if I gotta send my food back more than once, or if I gotta argue with you over food, I don't want it.
Right.
You can you might as well keep it. I'm gone.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm going.
Right. I'm sorry. Yep. Nah, I'm okay.
Yeah, we're gonna leave.
I'll pay for what I already got, and we good.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. But then there's other, and I don't want to say, but there's other things that you pay for that the price is steady going up and up and up on. You know what I mean, as far as the service, and it's like at what point in time? So I might well go ahead and say it. I mean, so like we got we own
I
a
already know where you
barbershop.
going. I already know where you
We own a
going.
barbershop,
Yeah.
beauty salon, right?
Uh-huh.
So it's like you paying for a level of service, right? So in the shop, so like I'm gonna take it back to 20 some years ago when I was cutting hair, right? There was a fee that I charged during my hours, right? I was fortunate enough to get busy, I mean, building enough clientele where it was still people who was trying to come in late after hours. So if it was after hours, you gotta pay.
I had
pay
late
more.
night tax in my business too back then.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, after
Uh-huh.
normal hours, man, the
The
price
eyes
go up.
scratched out. Yeah.
Yeah, the price go up, right? And then I was fortunate enough where it was some people who would pay for me to come to their house because they couldn't get to me.
Right.
That's a different price. I gotta drive there, right?
Right.
And it's after hours, and it's another level of service, right? This is not your standard level of service. But when I did though, like with my prices and that, it was just like I was happy with the number. I charged what I thought I deserved. Right. Now, if you wanted to tip me, then that's great.
Above and beyond.
That's above and beyond.
As long as you got what you was expected.
As long as I got what I was expecting. But it's like now, I mean, some guys is charging $150 a cut, and it's like now if the $150 a cut is not in the shop, they coming to you for service. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I get that. But when they come, it's just like, yo, can you come to XYZ? Let's say you're at an event, right? And you need a cut. It's like, okay, Troy, cut's gonna cost you $200 for me to, leave the shop, come to Baltimore, cut you up. you know what I mean, I'm missing out on my shop money, right?
Right.
So when I get there, I done already gave you the price. As long as you pay me that, I'm good.
Right.
But like the trash somebody because they ain't give you no tip.
Well, that's the difference between the business owner and the employee. Because that's the same thing I try to rationalize in my head. Like, okay, do you expect, okay, you got 10 customers in here. Let's say if none of them tip.
Mm-hmm.
As the owner, do you still want those 10 people to come in and eat?
Right.
Oh, you know what I mean?
Right.
Even so, I think the owners have to look at the tipping aspect. Like, okay, if they're not getting the fair tips, what can we do to help? Maybe
Right.
increase their wage or something like that.
Right.
Because really,
Or for parties over a certain amount, add the gratuity already in the bill, right?
yeah, that's it.
As-
So that means your people's gonna get taken care of
Right.
already.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's what you gotta do, man. I think when it comes to money, like I like the way you describe it though, because basically, as long as you get your price, and all that other is extra.
Yeah.
So what? This one gave you $5, and this one might have gave you 20.
Right.
That's extra.
It's
It's
extra.
extra. But
It's
I think
extra
we get an
because,
expectation of it after a while.
and see, that's the thing, man. To me, if you provide a service and your expectation is they should tip you,
Mm-hmm.
you probably not charging enough for your service.
'Cause you getting everything you need out of it if you pricing it right.
Right. So if you don't tip me, it doesn't matter.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't feel like I'm giving. I feel like I'm giving you the service that you at a level that is above or beyond what you asked me for.
Mhm.
When you got in the chair, you was willing to pay me for that service. And so if you don't tip me, it's like I'm cool.
What can as a employer or business owner, can you price yourself out of a tip?
Yeah.
So you can price yourself out
Yeah.
of it. The price is too high. I'm not
Price,
paying nothing else.
Yeah.
You just charge me enough.
right.
Right.
Right. And that happens.
And I feel like that.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
that certainly happens in certain professions where it's just like, you know, especially when let's say you go to a new place and they don't have the prices up there, right? And you just getting hey, I just want give me a Caesar, shake the beard up, whatever,
Mhm.
and then they get done. It's like, yo, like how much is that? Yo, it's $125. Well, for one, I shouldn't have gotten a chair without knowing what the price was, right? But now you done shot me this number, and like if I give you 130, man, don't put my money in your pocket. Like I'm gonna ask for my fines.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, you
Yeah.
charge me $125
Right.
for a haircut. I'm
Don't just assume. Yeah.
I want my
Because I'm
fines.
already tight. Yeah, I'm already tight.
Yeah.
You done did too much already, man.
Right,
Like,
right.
yeah, this is much as you're gonna get.
I want it back. And believe and so I want to preface this by saying like that was my first passion. Being a barber was my first passion. So I'm not if you're a barber, you watching this and you seeing this, I'm speaking from a place where I've been behind that chair all them hours, all them days, just like you were, built up a clientele, you know, had a good book of business. But you know, I mean, business is business, and you also have to understand the clientele that you have. So I want to preface it by saying, in some markets where the people have the income to pay that,
Oh,
then
yeah,
it's
$200 is the equivalent to $20.
right,
If
right.
you're in
If you're in the right market,
metropolitan area with rich clientele.
right. But if you in an area where the average person is making $20 an hour,
Yeah.
and you charging $100 for a haircut, this person has to work almost a full day to pay for a haircut.
Man.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like the perspective is off. You know what I mean? Because at that point in time, it's just like, okay, well, now you can't expect it to.
Yeah.
I
This
mean-
half of this man's salary going to a haircut, and God forbid if you had kids, if you got, you gotta take the youngins.
Yeah. Whew.
Man,
You talking about that whole day's salary to get cut. Now you know what's gonna happen next.
What is it?
The next time he gonna spend, he gonna spend $100,
Mm-hmm.
but he gonna get himself a pair of clippers.
Come on, man.
A pair of edges, and he get ready to start learning how to cut.
That's it.
That's what's gonna happen.
That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Price yourself right up.
Or you see people getting less and less, where God maybe will come 2 times a month, and he's only coming once a month.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you're just pricing yourself out.
Right.
And at the end of the day, know your worth.
Know
Just
your
know your
worth.
worth, know your skill level. You know what I mean? Because you do have barbers that is worth every bit of what they're charging, and
Absolutely.
then you have some that can't even draw a straight line. You know what I mean? They want to spray you up and paint you time you jump in the shower, your hairline gone,
Hey,
and you
I do not condone this
listen. I'm
message.
saying it,
I
man.
don't condone this message. I respect my barbers out there. I love y'all. I love y'all. I'm just keeping it a buck with you on the
Man, I'm
price.
keeping it
That's
a
it.
buck too, man. Listen, if I'm going to a wedding or something like that, listen, man, black me out, get me tight. That's cool. 'Cause I want to look good for that day.
Right, right.
But when I'm walking through life every day, man, before you spray anything on, let me check my line out, make sure everything right.
Right, right.
Cause
Yeah.
you not don't use that corrective spray and all that. Then I take a shower and I got a U in the top of my. And I'm not talking about anybody, specific, man. I'm just saying in general.
Hypothetically speaking.
Yeah, hypothetically
Hypothetically
speaking. Because
speaking.
there's a lot of gimmicks, man, in a lot of industries, not just barbering.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure, for sure.
Yeah. So.
Well, man, I think that's all we had. Man, Troy gonna get me cut up out in these streets, man. Yeah, I mean,
Nah.
barbers gonna be, you know what I mean, slashing my tires.
Nah. It's all good, man.
Yeah, nah, but for real, man, we appreciate all of y'all. It's just us talking, man. Stuff that come up, we didn't know the conversations gonna go where they go sometimes. But we do appreciate everybody tuning in, tapping in with us, the people that's becoming our followers and watching us on a weekly basis. Again, man, we're gonna continue to try to grow this thing. Not try to. We're gonna continue.
Oh yeah,
to
we have
grow
some
this
things in store, no doubt.
Yeah,
Keep tapping in with us, follow us, and yeah, we're going places. Yeah, so we definitely want y'all input, man. Talk to us when we, go back and look at it. We want to hear your comments, want to hear your thoughts. If you have topics or something like that you want us to expound on, give us a shout out.
Yeah, and if you want Troy to come hop in the chair, man, put that in the comments too. You know what I mean? Tell him, look, man, you ain't got that dye like you ain't had a dye.
Man, I'm trying to maintain my hairline, man.
Hey, me too, man. You see, I'm
holding on. I'm yet holding on.
Yeah, still holding on
That's
dearly.
That's it.
But now, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I think that's it. You know what I mean? But yeah, go follow us, like us, and share.
No doubt. And
Thanks
stay
for tapping
tapped
in.
in. Peace.